Welcome to another episode of Listen to Us Rant About Movies. I'm Wes Ford.
And I'm Zach Harris.
And we rant about movies and drink while we do it. Tonight we have a special guest joining us, TJ Morrison. How's it going,
Howdy.
TJ?
It's going. How you doing?
Pretty good. Good to have you on.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, bud.
Very excited.
You want to briefly just talk about yourself and what you do over in Chicago?
Yeah, I'm a full-time industrial design student over at UIC. I spend my days in the lab at school.
Yeah, a lot of lab work.
And my nights, apparently, at this point. But make some time for movies on occasion. I do my own podcast with a friend of mine. It's for a review blog called Film Corps, and it's called the
Nice.
Film Corps TV Corner Podcast. So check me out if you get a chance.
Awesome. Yeah, we definitely will, and our listeners, you should as well. And that's awesome. All right, so on this episode, we will be ranting about what we've been watching, and then we'll dive into separate spoiler, non-spoiler reviews of the new Marvel Studios film, Black Panther. What's everyone drinking tonight? I think we're all doing the same thing.
Yeah, we all got Tusker. The stars aligned for this one. We were actually able to get the same beer.
Yeah, together forever, apparently, even in our decisions. with Tusker.
Exactly. So this is an imported beer from Kenya, and it's a malt lager.
I think that's as close as we're going to get to Wakanda.
Yeah, so let's give it a taste.
Yeah, let's get a sip going.
Not too shabby.
It's good.
It's good.
Yeah, I like it. Very smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And light. But it's not a... It's got a distinct flavor.
Yeah.
But
It's light, but it's also full.
Yeah.
Which is refreshing, because usually it's a light beer, it tastes kind of empty, but this one has a full flavor, and it's light and refreshing. I like it. I'm a fan of Tusker.
These, I could put a few down and enjoy the actual taste of it, too.
yeah, just slamming a couple of Tuskers, you know?
Exactly.
That might be dangerous for me.
All right, so before we get into our watch list, I'd just like our listeners to know that our podcast today is brought to you by Audible. You can get a free audiobook, download, and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/LTURAM. You can choose from 180,000 titles from your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. And if you like what you hear on this episode, remember you can find other episodes of our podcasts on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and YouTube.
Wait, Wes,
So-
did you say 180,000?
180,000 titles, Zach. That's a lot.
That's pretty
Dude, that's
impressive.
like almost as much as like I've read, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've used Audible for a few years now. I've got like
Yeah.
40 titles in my library. I didn't even realize it. It's crazy.
All right, so let's go to our watch list. Zach, you want to kick us off?
Sure. Well, I did a little Kugler homework here
Nice.
before Black Panther. Just get myself psyched up. First, I guess I watched Creed, which
Very
was
good.
something that I just was like, yeah, why haven't I seen this movie? I should probably watch it. And it is just killer. It's really, really enjoyable.
Very
And,
delightful.
Yeah, it's just
Big
Yeah.
fan of Creed.
it's a great movie. Michael
It's
B.
a
Jordan.
great movie. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
he-
surprised how good it was. Yeah.
Seriously.
I thought I might like it, but I didn't think I'd like it that much, where I was like really
Yeah.
into it the whole time. I was
Same.
all about it.
Because it's a weird, it's like something that you like see announced, like, they really making this shit? It's like, yeah, Apollo Creed's son, but Rocky's gonna train him. It's just like, all right, like, this seems like a
Yeah.
bit of a stretch.
He
But,
did a great job, like, making a separate story from Rocky. And,
Yeah.
You know, I was also surprised at how much Sylvester Stallone was in the movie.
Very
I thought
surprised.
he was going to be, like,
had a
making
big part.
appearance and then come out, but he was, like
Like, he would
central
always
to the
be in the
story.
restaurant. Like, he would just stop by and be like, hey, Rocky, you got any more words of advice? And he'd be,
Yeah.
like, behind the bar. It's just like, you could tell that they shot it all in one day or something.
Right.
That's totally what I was expecting. But it was not like that. And it's really enjoyable. Like you said, it has its own identity as its own movie, but then also very much as a Rocky movie, and is able to play that line really well. And holds
And also-
back, especially the score, like holds back on the score, uses it sparingly, but at
Yeah.
the right times,
Oh yeah.
where you just sort of like, ooh, it's
Definitely did a great job making me feel pretty shitty about my body. Just looking at Adonis that whole time. He's perfect. Like, he's
Yeah,
a perfect
seriously.
specimen. His name was literally Adonis. And, like, I mean, he
just a
lived up to
beautiful
it.
man.
Just the most beautiful. Like, put him in everything. I'm fine with it.
And we'll get to it later, but it does seem like progressively every movie he's just getting larger.
He's getting bigger and bigger.
More beautiful. And
Yeah.
we were joking that, like, in 5 years, Michael B. Jordan's just going to be, like, 9 feet tall. Just like a giant human.
He's going to be like the Greek, or the David
Yeah.
statue. He's going to be
Yeah,
20
totally.
feet tall and perfect. And,
Michael B. Jordan, the living god. He's just
Yeah. But
Yeah.
but yeah, Creed was amazing. I especially loved the score. I thought the score was really, really good.
Yeah.
Totally.
And great cinematography, really good use of the one take that isn't like too showy, but
Yeah.
like has an actual purpose and serves the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And also just fucking love that scene with the 12 o'clock boys where he's running down the street
Oh, yeah.
shadowboxing.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like so corny and like why would this ever happen in a real world? But also, I don't give a fucking shit because this is amazing. Like, you know?
But it's also a Rocky reboot too, you know. So it's
Yeah,
like,
totally.
It's part of it too. It's a reboot, but it's also its own thing, which is just awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
totally.
It's kind of like what they did with Star Wars, in
Mm-hmm.
that they like starting a new thing, but
Yeah.
like call back to pay homage to the first one,
Yeah.
or to the original. And I think they did a great job. Like, it definitely had its own identity. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fact that he lost the final match just like solidified it as a Rocky
Yeah.
movie. Even
Yeah.
though Creed technically won the first.
Yeah.
But
What are you gonna do?
Well, that whole end fight scene was amazing. The choreography
Yeah, it's great.
and the cinematography of that is just.
Mm-hmm.
It's so intense. Like when it ended, I was like, like I had to take a breath.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like,
I felt like
so
I was
intense.
fighting.
Yeah.
So-
Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing, and like I was saying with the one take, like a lot of movies, like do the one take, and it's just like it's like masturbatory. Like, look what we did. We did the coolest
Right.
one take. But it's a one take, but it makes sense because it's showing you the fight in real time, and it's just like circling around the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like I didn't even because I had heard that there was like a one take fight, and it was
Yeah.
like halfway through, and I was like, oh, I guess this is it. Because I was like so into what was happening.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it was like really
same.
effective with the way it was doing it that it's very not showy, but has really great moments.
Definitely.
But yeah, loved Creed. Very
glad you enjoyed
surprised. Yeah, it's great.
Do you want to
And
do
then-
all this at once, or do you want to go back and forth?
let's go around. Let's go around.
Let's go around. All right, I'll go next. I watched The Ritual on Netflix. I don't know if you
okay.
guys heard of this.
I
It's
heard
like-
about it, but I don't know much about it.
I'm not.
Yeah, it's like a horror movie that just came out. It's getting a pretty good amount of buzz. I would definitely say check this out, especially for at least the first 2/3 of the movie, because the
Yeah.
first 2/3 of the movie are actually very scary, like incredibly scary, incredibly intense. And then the last third, I won't spoil anything, but something's revealed, and then it kind of just like diminished for me, which was kind of sad. But that first 2/3 is really worth it. It's basically takes place. It takes place. I believe they shot it in Sweden, like the Swedish mountains. It's like a bunch of British friends who go out, and they're like they do some kind of trip every year, and something happens while they're out drinking. And I guess it's not really a spoiler, but it's literally the launch of the movie is one of the friends gets shot, and one of the
Sweden.
friends witnesses
surprising.
this, and that kind of haunts that character throughout the whole movie. So anyway, to honor him, they go on this camping trip, this hiking trip out in the Swedish mountains, and they decide to take this shortcut through the forest. And of course, you never cut through forests, right? Like you
No,
never.
it's a terrible idea.
It's a terrible idea. And they start to see like weird, kind of like Blair Witch symbols on the trees, and like weird things start happening, and it gets really scary. It really does. And that's all I'll say, like really about the plot. But it's really worth checking out.
Yeah.
I was
What about-
surprised how terrified I was.
What about the last third though? Was it poopy?
It kind of like takes it. I guess in a way I respect it because it takes the plot further than any other horror movie would.
Mm-hmm.
But I think to its downfall, like that's the
Okay.
that's the reason why these other movies don't go that far, because
Yeah.
it's like the payoff isn't quite worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just because you specified the first 2/3 in the beginning, and I was like, oh, is this thing a stinker or what?
Yeah, the first 2/3 are good.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't stick the landing for you, or it just doesn't
Yeah.
stick the landing the way you wanted it to.
I guess both. It I don't know. I guess the reveal kind of broke the illusion for me. It didn't make it as scary for me. Once you see, I guess, what's haunting them, then it kind of takes away the scare factor of that. You know?
For sure.
Huh.
Still worth a watch though.
Definitely worth a watch. Definitely worth a watch.
So what's the TRT on that bad boy? What's the runtime?
I think it's only an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's not bad.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you should
Alright.
knock that out.
Yeah.
I'm down. In case I didn't mention it before, I live with Zach, so we
Yeah.
share
Nice.
the same home.
Yeah.
And watch a lot of movies.
Lots of
together.
combo watches.
Yeah,
Well, you should check it out. It's definitely worth popping in, just for a good scare.
absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, that's The Ritual.
Oh yeah.
Ritual.
What you been watching, Tone?
So recently I watched End of the Fucking World on Netflix, a Netflix original
Nice.
series. What was it, like 6 episodes, I want to say? No.
I don't know.
Maybe
I haven't
10.
seen it yet.
Anyway, just like a really easy, digestible watch. I enjoyed it. It's interesting, but also, I mean, you don't have to pay all the attention in the world to it because it's just kind of a straightforward story. So I did it I watched it while I was doing homework, but it worked really well for that, and I totally got everything that it was sending my way. So
Nice.
definitely more about the journey than the ending, and I can't tell if they wanted to leave it. Well, see it for yourself. But I can't. For me, it also did not stick the landing, but I really did enjoy the episodes leading up to the end. So I definitely say give it a watch if you've got 20 minutes, 10 separate times. So,
Well, those are pretty short, so that's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
Totally.
I've heard good things. I've heard good things about it.
yeah, definitely hip, very provocative. I like it.
Nice.
Into it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Zach, what do you got?
I went and saw A Fantastic Woman, which is a new movie from Chile about a trans woman who her older boyfriend dies suddenly, and with her, and it's kind of about her having to deal with his family and them kind of wanting to keep that hush hush, even though it's his ex-wife and everything. But
Yeah.
I don't know, they're all kind of, being lame about it. Just being a big bunch of lamos the whole time. And it's a really, really good movie. I really liked it a lot. It's got an amazing performance by the lead actress. She's fantastic. And it's very infuriating. It's a very tough movie to watch. Tons of very small jabs that just jabbing the whole time, and it's really tough, but it's really, really good. It's got a great pace, great performances, good score.
Nice.
That kind of evolves to fit the themes of the movie, and I don't want to say what it is because for me it was a nice surprise, but there's certain reveals about the character, and then the score kind of adapts with that, which is really interesting. But yeah, it's just a killer movie. It was really, really good. Very intense, not a light one, but really good. Really, really good. Really enjoyed it.
Nice. A Fantastic Woman. How'd you see that?
It's in theaters. It was playing at the Music
Okay.
Box in Chicago, so I went and caught it the other day.
Very
Fresh
nice.
release.
Yeah.
You should go check it out. It's amazing.
Yeah, I definitely. I've heard all good things from you.
Yeah.
So, I definitely will have a look at that.
So is that considered a 2018 release?
This was up for debate. I was checking it out because I think it had a very strong probably would have made my top 10 of last year if it was a 2017 movie. It had a week-long qualifying run in New York. They're in that fridge. But week-long qualifying run in New York for the Oscars, and then it actually came out like in January, full theatrical. So technically it's a 17 movie, but also technically that's totally bullshit because it came out in 2018.
I think you can consider that a 2018.
Yeah, for sure.
Might be on your top 10 this year. Who knows?
Hey, who knows? Yeah.
A movie I checked out recently on iTunes. It was only 99 cents for a rental. I was like, gotta check it out because I heard great things from you and Sean on our last episode. Mm-hmm. And that is the movie called Lucky.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I just want to point out real quick that in 2017 we got a movie called Logan. We got a movie called Lucky, and we got a movie called Logan Lucky.
Logan Lucky, yeah. That's
and
really
I liked
good.
all three, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, Lucky is it was good. It was really good. I liked the concept of this with Harry Dean Stanton, kind of his last film. It was actually, I don't know, there's something to that where you're just like, oh man, there's a little more to it because you know he's gone now, and he's like is one of his last films, so that spoke to me in a certain way. And I like the concept of having like these like older actors and older filmmakers in a movie together. Like
totally.
He goes to this bar and they're all older, almost not even, I wouldn't say washed up, but quote unquote, just kind of they've had their time and they're in like a movie together. It's, I don't know, that's really interesting. So yeah, it's just kind of like this cool, like nice meditation on getting older and dying and stuff like that. And I thought it brought up some interesting concepts.
Totally.
And totally worth checking out.
Love watching Harry Dean in his underwear doing crossword puzzles.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, some of those montage shots of him like getting ready in the morning were so good.
Also, just him walking super far every day to like buy like cartons of milk. Right?
Yeah, he just loves milk so much.
Yeah, it's amazing. Milk and cigarettes.
And then always getting the same drink at the bar. Got to get the Bloody Mary.
Also, David Lynch, pretty good, right? He's pretty funny in it.
Yeah, it's pretty good seeing him in there.
Did you see this movie?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's just Harry Dean Stanton being like this old man, just like following his life, and then David Lynch
loving his turtle, his tortoise.
Yeah. David Lynch plays a character that he hangs out with who just talks about his tortoise all the time. What's the name
he
of
talks
him?
About his tortoise?
Like, David Lynch has a tortoise that's missing, and he's like, he left me! He's gone away! He has a really funny name. It's like a president, old president.
Yeah, it's
or
a
something.
President. It's
I can't remember.
He literally calls him like President something.
Yeah.
That's his name.
It's great. It's pretty funny.
Yeah,
sounds
totally worth
awesome.
checking out.
It's a good one.
Also, Tom Skerritt is in it.
Yep, totally.
Pretty amazing.
nice.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's some well-known names in there, worth checking out. And the directorial debut by John Carroll Lynch.
Yeah.
A well-known actor, kind of a character actor. So that was cool.
Yeah, he's the red herring Zodiac.
Yeah.
The guy that you think Zodiac.
Yeah, exactly. And that's Lucky. Check it out.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
You're up, TJ. Do you got something else?
Man, have I watched anything else lately?
I feel like you've watched stuff.
I definitely watched stuff. What have I watched? That's the question. It all just flies right over my head because it's straight on in the background. I started... Most of this is going to be Netflix originals. Just I'm on Netflix while I'm doing stuff and just like, hey, play this. Shit, I should have thought of this.
That's all right. We can come back to you if you want.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do the combo one because I also did more
True.
Coogler homework, and we both watched Fruitvale Station. Neither of us had seen it before.
Station.
Which was a movie that I heard a lot of really good things about, but just never watched because I knew it was going to be so fucking sad.
Exact
Same here.
I just put it off. I was like, I really want to watch it, but I have shit to do today.
Yeah,
I did
totally.
that a million times, and we finally sat down and watched it.
on Saturday morning. We like got up and we're like, let's watch a movie. I was like, oh, we've been wanting to watch Fruitvale. Started our day off with this horribly sad movie.
Yeah.
So I've heard good things about it, but I don't know much about it other than Ryan Coogler directed it, Michael B. Jordan's in it, and I've heard it's really good, but I've never seen it.
It's about
It's Coogler's directorial debut.
Yeah, it's his first movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's about the killing of how old is he? He's like 22.
22. Yeah.
Yeah, at a train station in Oakland. It's like based off something that actually happened.
2009 on New Year's Day.
Oscar E. Grant III, right?
Oscar Grant gets shot by cops at a train station at like 2:15 in the morning and dies at like 10 a.m. So the story's well known, so you know what's going to happen, and in the whole movie you're just building up this character, and it's super powerful. Like the way he does it, just putting a life around this name that you've heard before and this story that you've heard, and the whole time you're like, I don't know, we said it a couple times, just like hoping that like, oh, we know how this ends, but maybe, maybe
they pulled one out and he's just gonna like everything's just gonna be chill. like he's just gonna
just pull a fast one on us.
Like it gets to the point because they show you the video in the beginning of the movie too. Just like gets to the point where it's about to happen and the cops go, know what, we're really wrong in this, and we're just gonna step away. Have a great night.
Have a great night.
But happily ever after. But no, they definitely go all the way, and it is
absolutely devastating.
Devastating. Like I knew it was coming the whole time, and it's still. I cried probably for a good 20 minutes after that. Like I just walked around the house like a zombie. Me and Zach got up and looked at each other, and our faces just like big fucking, just big
messes.
Tears.
Yeah, we're just both crying. Like that's really good.
Yeah, it was a hard watch, but definitely a powerful story and one that needed to be told, and one that needed to be told. You'd recommend
it?
Absolutely,
definitely,
absolutely.
It's on Netflix too now, so it's easily accessible.
It's not too long. Cool. It's got Michael B, and he's just the most charismatic. Just
just the fucking best.
He is. Yeah.
We just kept talking about that we would make a pact to turn off the movie. It's just like him like having dinner with his family, just having a great time. We're like, all right, let's just shut this off.
Shut off now. It's like, I wonder if you ever got that job.
Just be like, I wonder what happened on New Year's Day. I hope everyone had a great day.
Just pretend. Live in that world. But no, great. Definitely watch it if you get a chance, but make sure you don't have anything to do afterward. Like, watch it.
Or maybe sleep on it.
Sleep on it.
Watch it, have a good hour of reflection, and then go to bed.
Then go to sleep.
Exactly. Because it was definitely rough.
Pretty heavy.
My day to a halting stop.
Yeah.
Just like...
Wow.
Yeah, it was really intense. Really powerful. Great performances. Octavia Spencer is in it. She's fucking amazing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And
That's
Melanie
awesome.
Diaz, who... I saw and I was just like, why the fuck is she not in any movies? She's really good. She just like dropped off. I don't know what happened.
But, yeah.
I'll check it out now. It's on Netflix,
Yeah,
definitely like
check it out.
made me understand why Coogler is directing a Marvel movie right now. Like, anybody would see that and be like, yeah, that guy can tell a story. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And tell it effectively.
Can I go for this one?
I'll just add one more to the list here. I watched also on Netflix, The Polka King.
Oh, I watched that too.
I saw that you watched that on Letterboxd. There's that. It was a pretty ridiculous movie, but I honestly wasn't that much of a fan of it.
It wasn't that good.
I didn't think it was that good.
It was abrasively fine.
It was exactly.
It's like the most average fine movie.
Man, I thought if anybody could sell that, it would be Jack Black.
Yeah,
that concept.
Yeah, he could sell that character probably the best. He made him like, it's more of a parody than like actual, real life. Because if you look pictures at the real character they show at the end, and it's and Jack Black's more of like a caricature of like what this person is.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I don't know. It was pretty dull, and for a movie that was like only an hour and a half, it felt like 3 hours.
It felt very long.
I was like,
it was very
is this
long-winded.
ever going to end? My God. It was brutal to go through, and they had a couple funny moments, but it just was very dull, not that great.
Yeah.
So
What were you gonna say?
I know I came in. This is funny because I came in. Well, I left while you guys were watching it, and I went out I went out with this girl, and I came back, and it was still on, and it was like ending, and I was like, "Is this movie still on?" I felt like I'd been gone for 3 hours, but I don't think that was only because I had gotten too drunk. But at the same time, it felt very long for me too, even though I didn't watch it.
I think time just slows whenever someone puts it on.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're just like, man, time's not going. You're like at work. It's like someone out there's watching the fucking Polka King.
Time's just
God
dilated.
damn it.
Just dilated while this person absorbs the story.
it's hilarious.
I will say though,
Yeah.
the biggest flaw with the movie, not enough JB Smoove. They bring him in,
I agree.
and I was so excited. I was like, yes, JB Smoove's in this.
Yes.
And then he's in it. He like comes back later. He's in like 2 scenes, and he comes back on the phone later, and it's just like, oh, come on.
Yeah,
More
you
JB
got
Smoove.
smooth. Be smooth with it.
I know. Where's the JB Smoove vehicle? That's what I want to know. I want to see a movie starring JB Smoove.
Yeah, that
Seriously.
Titular character. Let's get that going because I'd watch
As
the
his
fucking
character
shit
from
out of that.
Curb. You're in
Yeah. Did you ever see that the like special on HBO? It's like a 10-minute thing called like Leon's Guide to NYC.
No, that's amazing.
Oh my god. Do you ever see
What?
this?
No.
It is fucking hysterical.
It's like
It
a
was just some
featurette.
some weird like bonus thing that was on demand when season 7 was out. And it's just
amazing.
like Leon, and he's like it's just like him looking at dogs like, yeah, that dog's smelling the other dog. It's just like talking about a bunch of stupid shit that doesn't mean anything. He's like, yeah, it's like a good sandwich shop. Like, it's amazing. It's really funny. And I don't think it's on the DVD. It's probably on like YouTube or something, but
Oh, I gotta
it
check
is
that out.
hysterical. I was dying. I just remember
Leon's Guide to
something-
New York.
him like
Sounds
talking
amazing.
about like dog behavior or something like that. It was hysterical.
Just goes off on tangents.
Yeah.
Love it. Definitely
Pretty
gotta check
great.
that out.
That's awesome. All right, so you guys want to get into our review of Black Panther?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I have seen gods fly. I've seen men build weapons that I couldn't even imagine. I've seen aliens drop from the sky.
Yeah.
But I have never seen anything like this. How much more are you hiding?
Hold up. Let's go.
We are home. My son, it is your time.
Show me my respect and bow down.
You get to decide what kind of king you are going to be. Don't freeze.
I never freeze.
The revolution will not be televised.
Show me my respect and bow down. We own ya. We own ya. We only getting started now. Cause we own ya. Everybody think they know me now. Cause we own ya. You and I'm a homie. Cause we own ya.
I waited my entire life for this. The world's gonna start over. I'ma burn it all.
What happens now determines what happens to the rest of the world.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out.
Wakanda forever!
The revolution will not be televised.
Let's have some fun.
The revolution will be live.
Let's just talk a little bit about it right now. So this is obviously the new Marvel Studios film, right? This is continuing the film series and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it's also its own thing.
Totally.
And it's actually doing really well right now. It's making a ton of money. It's already made more than in 4 days than Justice League made in its entire run.
Good.
Yeah. And it's shattering records of all kinds, which is just awesome. So let's just briefly talk about our general thoughts, and we obviously won't talk spoilers in this, but let's talk about how we felt about the movie and our general thoughts. Zach, what do you think?
I thought it was awesome. This is like the Marvel movie I've been waiting for. I feel like the ones I've liked the most before, I feel like always like Guardians or something, where it's like such an outlier that it almost, but
Right.
I don't know. I thought this one struck a really nice balance. It was super entertaining. The performances are good. The soundtrack is awesome. The score is really cool. Visually, I thought it was a step up from a lot of the other ones. I just feel like this was the way that the Marvel movies like should be being done.
Right. TJ, what do you think? What's your general thoughts?
I mean, I saw it 3 times.
Wow.
Just this weekend, before Sunday, I saw it 3 times. So, like,
That's awesome.
I was a big fan. Yeah, I was really into it. Definitely my favorite Marvel movie so far.
It's my favorite that I've seen.
Yeah,
too.
just
Really? Wow.
characters, world building. Like, with most of the Marvel movies, they take place in the real world, and that's fine. They take place on Earth, in Earth cities, except for Guardians of the Galaxy. And Guardians of the Galaxy has such huge opportunities to build interesting places, and they take advantage of that, I feel, but not to the degree that they built Wakanda and made Wakanda seem like the most compelling thing about the Marvel Universe to me. Like, this city being on Earth, this country being on Earth this entire time.
Yeah, it's insane.
Is honestly, like, the biggest thing about the Marvel Universe to me. And, like, just separating from the rest of the Marvel Universe and just doing their own thing with it. I really liked the characters. The characters were all awesome. I loved the villains, especially. But, I don't know if I have a bad... we'll talk about it later. But, like, overall, A+ for me. Like, it deserved that 100%. I'm fine whoever didn't give it. I'm a big fan.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty much there with you guys. I don't think I was as high on it as you guys were, but I will say that I did absolutely really enjoy it. I thought it was definitely one of the better Marvel movies that have been out recently. And I just love the fact that, like, it's created this... The world building is so amazing. And especially the costumes and the set design, that is just it's food for the eyes. It's just it's amazing to look at. It's really entertaining, really fun, and it's got great characters. It's got really good characters, which is it's fundamental. It really is, and especially in a Marvel film, but any movie, you need good characters, and this movie totally has that. And I think one of the better, probably if not the best, Marvel villain that we've seen.
I'd say he's
absolutely.
the best. Michael B. Jordan is
the
amazing.
most empathetic. Like this guy, he's onto something. May not agree with his methods, but I totally get why he's doing.
Well,
totally.
You can empathize with them, right? And that's what makes a really good villain. And I don't know. The idea of this film and everything that it's doing socially and everything, like, I think it's really inspiring, and I love that. The music, like you said, Zach, the score is just fantastic.
Yeah, it is killer.
It gives it the score gives it its own, like, really unique feeling too. Like, it has its own tone, and, like, it feels like a movie of its own and not really part of the Marvel universe. And the score kind of helps that too, which is nice.
Yeah, it's not as generic. Like the other scores, fine. They're fine scores for what they're trying to accomplish. But this one felt really tailored to the movie. The other ones feel kind of generic.
Yeah.
Like, you could change out Iron Man's score with Captain America's
Yeah.
score. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
none of them ever stood out to me where I went up and looked up the score and, like, listened to it. Like, this
Yeah.
score feels like it was made for this movie and the characters in it and, like, the story that's being told. And I really enjoyed the score. I've listened to it a few times.
Yeah. Well,
I
it
have
kind of
too.
goes.
I've actually been listening to it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
We were talking about this because we saw it together. My first time, TJ's third. But how, and I'm not trying to shit on old Hansi here, because Hans Zimmer, especially recently, has put out some good scores. But I feel
He's
like
got some good scores.
I feel like there's kind of he started the whole sort of just like rhythmic non-theme. You know what I mean? There's like the Dark Knight score suits that movie well, but like it doesn't suit everything well. But I feel like that's kind of like the direction things have tended to go. And I absolutely loved that in this movie, characters had themes. Like when it cut to Michael B. Jordan, there was a theme that was like associated with him, which is like a thing in movies like 20, 30 years ago, but I feel like we don't really see anymore. There's no themes that you can like recall in your head after and like hum. You know what I mean?
He had like a slow burn theme and then just like a real intense moment theme. And it was just
it's killer.
Solid.
Yeah. Agreed. That's awesome. Any other non-spoiler thoughts you can think of right now?
More Lupita Nyong'o and everything.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's awesome.
She's amazing.
She's incredible.
Yeah, she's really good.
I loved all the badass women in this movie.
Yeah, it was great.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
They all. I mean, the whole cast was fantastic, man. It was.
Yeah.
All of them are really, really good.
I would say the only person that I didn't think was that good was Martin Freeman. Kind of felt weird.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, like, because I think also, and this is coming from someone who isn't, like, as much of a Marvel person, but he's, like, the one main tie to the other Marvel movies in it.
It's like
so
the grounding line. That's
like,
this is still Marvel, guys. You know?
Yeah, but it almost felt like, why... I guess I'd rather him be in it than, like, Doctor Strange, like, opening a weird portal and being like, T'Challa, I gotta talk to you, you know what I mean?
Totally.
But,
it's actually, he's one of two. There's two ties.
yeah, because Andy Serkis was in one,
Andy
too,
Serkis.
right?
He was actually the one. He's actually in, I think, at least 2 other Marvel movies.
Really?
Really?
Yes. He's in Avengers Age of Ultron, where they first introduced Wakanda. And you know that he's from there, and he talks a little bit about the technology, so you get a little tease. You know Black Panther's coming.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I think he's in one other, possibly, but yeah, they've basically been like feeding us him as the villain for this movie for a while.
Yeah. Which is insane. But we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So we knew that he would be in this movie, so there's a tie in there. And then more recently was Martin Freeman, who was in Civil War.
Yeah.
As one of the agents, so.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was like bad. It's not like it was like, man, cut this guy out of the movie. Am I right? But if it's just like, I feel like clearly the weakest character out of the bunch for me at least.
Yeah,
I agree.
He felt out of place, but I think he was supposed to feel out of place. It kind of like, you're gonna make me have this character in the movie, then fine, he's gonna feel out of place. Yeah, and that's fine, you know.
Well, the whole time he has no idea, you know, what he's doing.
Exactly.
Or really, he's kind of along for the ride.
He's a child because, you know, he's in an advanced. It's something he's completely unfamiliar with.
Totally.
You know? Yeah. Which is we all are. We're all him in that movie. You know. Like, whoa, along for the ride.
Exactly. Yeah. So I guess just to wrap up the non-spoilers, I really just think what's also great about this movie too is it feels like the first Marvel movie that's like really about something. Like it's really about something that's applicable to experiences in the real world that people have, and I really respect that, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to the story that this is trying to tell, and that's just great. And we need more movies like that. We need more movies that bring to light real situations and real things, but at the same time, it's incredibly entertaining. A lot of fun. It's hilarious too, and it has some great action, and that's what you want in a movie. It has the whole package. So
totally. The movie definitely like took some stances, you know, and like said some things, like stepped out of the comfort zone of the audience, of some of the audience, and made it, like said its piece without, people were going to react to the things that were going to said in the movie, or the ideas that were conveyed in the movie, and it was just good to see, especially a big company like Marvel Studios, Disney, just like. I mean, maybe it's a safe time to do it right now. Like, it is very trendy but also they didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? They could have made this whole Black Panther thing out there in the rest of the world, Wakanda being a side part of it. They could have, they didn't have to do all black cast, all black, It's great.
Yeah, I agree. And, it's awesome for a big studio like that to like give that a chance too, because really they're the only ones that can do that. And the fact
and maybe they've opened the doors for more.
I think they probably have, and I hope that they have.
Huge.
Yeah, it really has changed. I think the mainstream. We need to see more stories of like this and this caliber, and it's really a great thing overall. It's awesome. So.
And it's also nice when they take this chance and they make that movie, and that's good on its own. But then for also the movie just to be good is also a big plus.
Totally,
you know what I mean? Because
totally.
there could be all this hype, and no matter what, even if the movie's a piece of shit, it's still good. But it's not. It's good. I felt like it was definitely the best Marvel movie I've seen personally.
Wow.
I enjoyed it the most.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It just it didn't feel tied down to anything. And we can talk about it in spoilers, but it feels like it's setting stuff up for the next ones, but it didn't feel obligatory. Like it definitely had like its own identity, its own style and feel, whereas a lot of the other ones I feel like don't. And it goes back to what you were saying about like everything's in the other ones is like grounded to a reality where like they're fighting in New York or like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of just like superheroes in a setting that we've seen.
Yeah. Dealing with the world's governments.
Yeah. So it's refreshing for me that, and I think it's also just more fun when this type of movie gets to take place in like a fantasy world. Like, I think a lot of aspects of it felt like a fantasy movie.
It did.
Which is
totally
awesome.
Did.
Like, people challenging the king to, like, sword fights on a waterfall. Like, it's the best. Like, you know what I mean?
Definitely the most important event on Earth happening right there.
Totally.
In terms of, like, the scale of things and the timeline of things happening. And, it's happening on a waterfall. And there's like all these people in traditional tribal garb, and like it's wonderful. It was really awesome to watch. And they didn't pull any punches with like, they didn't tone down any African like representative cultures. You know what I mean? There's ways that you can like wash it down and make it like more palatable for people to watch, because it's almost completely unrelatable for everybody who's watching it. Yeah. But it's also very visually interesting, and you can like if you do it right, and you make it honest. Like I feel like they took huge strides to make everything honest about it, which I loved about that.
Yeah,
they didn't make up anything other than Wakanda itself is made up, but
it's also like a crazy holograph fan.
Right.
City,
it's an Afrofuturist utopia. It's made up. But, like it's amazing.
But it's a great way to be able to use like that real rich culture and everything and history and kind of ingrain it into like this futuristic. It's something that we haven't seen before too, which is kind of it's helping the superhero fatigue a little bit.
Definitely.
It's like there's nothing wrong with seeing it in New York or whatever, but
totally.
We've seen it so many times before, so it's like to have something take place in like a whole part of the world that we've never seen, it's cool and it's refreshing. So
it pulls you out of the real world so hard, and you're so immersed into this fantasy world that when it flashes back to London and we like have that scene in London, you're like, whoa, London. You're just like, this is weird, Totally. At first, I mean, you're quickly back into it, but like,
and South Korea
like,
too.
Yeah, South Korea, even like, where are we?
Yeah,
it's great.
Which, speaking of South Korea, I just want to also say I love that we were talking. This movie is like a fantasy movie, but it can also be like it's literally also a James Bond movie.
Yeah, it's a very James
Which
Bond.
is amazing.
In a moment, like we're gonna go on this mission, and it's a James Bond movie. It's like,
Yeah. It's
great.
And I will say that's probably one of my favorite parts in the whole movie. Like,
Yeah, it was cool.
That was amazing.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and like talk more, I guess, in spoilers, and so we
Sure.
can talk more details and stuff. But real quick, before we do get into spoilers, I want to bring up that special deal for our listeners. You know,
Yeah,
if
man.
you've listened to this podcast before, you may know that Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. And you can download your free audiobook today. Just go to audibletrial.com/LTURAM. Again, that's audibletrial.com/LTURAM for your free audiobook. All right, let's get into our spoiler review for Black Panther.
The world is changing. Soon, there will only be the conquered and the conquerors.
Step into the spotlight.
You are a good man
Step into the spotlight.
with a good heart. And it's hard for a good man to be a king.
We're in spoilers.
Spoiler town.
There's spoiler towns.
Spoiler
So,
territory.
I guess I'll talk about one thing, the minor quip. This is on the marketing team, I'll say. I wish they hadn't revealed the villain in the trailers. Because I feel like the payoff of having you think that it's Andy Serkis, you know, having him, and then if it was revealed that, oh shit, Michael B. Jordan is actually the villain, if I had not known that, I feel like that would have been way more impactful. Like I would have been like, oh my god, you know?
Yeah.
I see where this is going now. But I knew from the very beginning that he was going to be the villain. So
Right.
it wasn't like shocking at all that. Yeah, I guess other than Andy Serkis getting shot was surprising.
Totally.
But yeah, I don't know. I wish they kind of kept that under wraps with the trailers and the marketing and stuff. Because imagine, like, if you hadn't seen any of the trailers and you go in, you're like, Michael B. Jordan's in this, but you know, I don't know what he is or what his character is.
Yeah.
And then you find that he shows up at Wakanda, and you're like, oh shit, you know. I feel like that would have been awesome.
Absolutely.
Or more impactful. But that's just a minor thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I guess one gripe I had, which this is kind of a specific one. It's not like that big a deal, but I'm a little tired of prologues that have like some sort of like kitschy way of like visually demonstrating the story that they're telling. Where it's like the sand like flying around in CG, and it's like,
Well, it was Wakanda. It was like vibranium technology.
yeah, no, I get that. But how cool would it have been if it was just cutting to shots?
How cool would it have been if it
Way
was just
cool.
I don't know. I kind of like that, to be honest.
Yeah?
I kind of like that. Yeah.
I'm kind of out
I
on
know-
that.
I know that's a thing, but it did in its own unique way, and it fit in with like
Yeah.
the technology. I thought it was cool.
Oh, yeah. I
cool.
mean, it's definitely, if they're doing that, they did it in a good way. I just, whenever I see those, because I feel like movies do it a lot. I can't pull up a ton. I know Hellboy 2 does it. I remember that. But it's usually like some sort of like fake animation thing that's like trying to make it look animated. This, in the case of this movie, it's not that. But
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is not
Yeah.
in the beginning, but they have that in the
yeah,
movie.
and it's just like, okay, Kurt Russell really built these weird things to demonstrate his story in this giant
Yeah.
hallway in his house. It's just like, I don't know,
That
this is
doesn't make
goofy as
sense.
fuck. How about you just cut to shots of like, you know what I mean? Because like, to me, it would have been amazing to like see that play out, and especially like an older version of Wakanda, and to be able to see like, because I mean,
technology advanced.
yeah, because the technology obviously has been like way past everyone else a while ago.
Right.
But also, when technology's had advanced, it's got to like rapidly advance so much faster. You know what I mean? So like being able to see like a more advanced but not quite there version, I think would have been really cool.
Yeah.
And also, it just seems weird when movies have this much money that they can't just like shoot 7 shots to demonstrate that. That's just
I guess
me.
so. I think it's also kind of like a time constraint thing too.
Yeah.
And he's also telling a story to a kid. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a storybook.
No, I get that. I just
What if they
I
did
would
it
like to see
Noah.
Yeah.
During How Not to Use Noah. It's just flashing through the whole story following I don't know, one character or something.
Totally.
The Black Panther going through these. No, it's great.
It's like I don't need it to be a scene that plays out like an actual scene, but just even with that same voiceover and audio, just having it be like
With
a
some shots.
montage of shots.
Yeah.
I personally,
I get
just
you.
stylistically, I think is more interesting. Which also, I guess, ties in a little bit to another, not necessarily gripe, but something I would have liked is to just see more of Wakanda at like a normal
Street
level.
level, yeah.
Yeah,
Street
just
level
like
Wakanda.
Yeah, I
That's
would have liked
my-
to see
that's
more
my
of that
gripe.
too.
Like, even
Yeah.
if there was just one scene, I guess there are a couple scenes of them just like walking
Yeah,
around.
they're just walking, but like
There's a
they're
couple.
also, once they get into their conversation, it's shot where you can't see anything that's happening
yeah,
around
it's just
them.
like over the
No
shoulder
context.
reversals.
Yeah, I mean, you just see some people around, you know, and I was happy to see even that a little bit, but like inside another building, even, you know,
yeah,
like,
totally.
like a
just,
different
some,
street or something.
yeah, somebody doing normal ass Wakanda shit. You know, just like,
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
going to work at this office building because they have skyscrapers. You know,
Yeah.
like, I'm an accountant in Wakanda. Like, this is what my day is like. This person, because you
Yeah.
always get that in Marvel movies where it's like for a moment you follow one random person on the street, and then something crazy happens. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's usually like there's a fight, it breaks away, and then there's like 2 kids playing stickball, and
Yeah.
then, like something flies past them, and they go, "Whoa!" You know.
Kids playing stickball.
Playing in a fire hydrant.
Yeah, exactly.
Kick
Some
the
goofy
can.
shit, but I think that it's not like a strike against the movie, but I think that would have been really interesting.
I mean,
Yeah,
hopefully,
for sure.
hopefully, like Wakanda is part of the universe now, and it gets some screen time being that, you know,
yeah.
because I mean, it's huge. It's
Well, honestly, it's going to change everything, right? Like
Yeah.
we're going to open up our technology to everyone now. That fucking changes everything on
Yeah.
like the Earth
Yeah.
of the Marvel universe. Like
Tony Stark. What? Like who?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
we're gonna see we might even see in Infinity War like normal ass people like with Wakandan technology and shit. Like I could see
Yeah.
that happening, or like Iron Man using the Wakanda technology to like enhance Spider-Man's suit or something like that,
Or his own. Yeah, totally.
or his own. So
So
yeah, I think that's gonna be cool.
Just
Are you-
people on the street having camellia beads where they're like doing shit
Yeah.
with their bracelets.
Yeah,
totally.
exactly.
So do you think that Infinity War is going to take place there? Because it seems like in the trailer there's a lot of footage of them in like a jungle or something. It's like, is this
Yeah.
Wakanda based Infinity War? Because if so, I might be a little
Well,
more
Or
in on
something
Infinity
has
War.
to happen there. We got
Because this is the last setup till that, right? Mm-hmm. That's the next movie.
Yes, the next movie is Infinity War. Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut
so
you off, by the way.
you're good.
We know at the end. Did you guys watch at the end of the credits?
Yeah, we know Winter
You said-
Soldier.
I didn't
Soldier.
see the last one. I saw the first end credit, but I didn't see the Winter Soldier one.
Yeah, the one after that is Winter Soldier, looking like.
Yeah, because in Civil War he got frozen at the end of Civil War
Yeah.
till they fix him, you know, and he's unfrozen. So they, I forget the character's name.
Was it
But I
Nick
guess
Fury who brought him to Wakanda? Like who was in Wakanda?
Who was in Wakanda was
In the
Steve
post-credit.
Rogers. Steve Rogers.
Okay, so
brought him.
Captain America knows all about Wakanda.
Yeah, Captain America knows. Yeah, and then
Because his
Yeah,
shield
then he
is
got
the
frozen.
the stuff, right?
It's vibranium, right?
yeah, his shield is made of vibranium. But yeah, so I guess he's unfrozen. So I guess he may be fixed. So he'll be fine, I guess, for Infinity War.
Maybe he'll have a vibranium arm. Was his arm vibranium?
I don't know. They never said.
It
might
got
be in the
broken,
comics.
didn't it, in one?
Yeah. I mean,
They
Yeah,
got-
vibranium got broke.
Yeah. No, I don't think vibranium's indestructible, so I don't think it was.
Yeah.
Because it got cut off. Mm-hmm. So I think it probably will be now.
Some normal ass metal. That arm.
Aluminum arm.
It's just like aluminum.
Goes to
punches someone, it just crinkles.
It crushes, yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be
funny.
cool to see. I guess another gripe I have, probably the biggest thing for me, was I wish the CG was a little off for me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything on the movie's fault. I think it's sort of like these studios who get hired for all this like CG work, and it's known that they're like crushed right now of like doing all this. And they don't have like a lot of time, I think, to really take their time and make everything look perfect. But like the CG people, like especially in the end fight, they don't. It's just they don't look realistic. Like
they look like 2002 Spider-Man.
Exactly.
You know, where like they clearly are not.
It hasn't progressed at all in that department. Which,
yeah, it looks very animated.
Yeah.
Which was a bummer.
That was
but
like the biggest thing for me.
I would say, did you see it in 2D or 3D?
2D.
You saw it in both.
Yeah.
I saw it in 3D when we went.
Oh, wow.
And I'll say that it not necessarily in terms of the CG people, but the CG like landscapes. I do feel like maybe the 3D helped, just because like even like the first scene when they're in that apartment looked like a fake environment, but I was like, well, this is clearly a real apartment. What are they gonna do? Shoot this apartment on a green screen? You know what I mean? I guess we're not too far off from that, but but I think that also helped that I just like didn't really think about it. So I don't know. I think that the real test for me will be watching that sweet UHD when it comes out.
Oh, for sure, getting that.
Yeah. Oof. Can't wait.
Color's gonna pop. Can't wait for those scenes with the Panthers in the trees with the eyes.
The
on 4K.
Oh, yeah.
The ancestors plane or whatever.
It's gonna look real good on UHD.
Those
Purple skies.
Quick side rant. They announced Last Jedi is coming out end of March on UHD, and that's the first Star Wars movie on UHD. Pretty amazing.
Gonna pick that one up.
Yeah. Just wanted to point that out.
Give it my second watch. I need to watch that one again.
Yeah, I do too.
So TJ, is there anything that you like? Any other gripes that you had with the movie, or pretty much along those lines?
I will say, the street level. I would have liked to see more average, normal Wakanda shit happening.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess we got time for that now that it's a part of the world. It seems like they had a lot to do, so it's like
totally.
You got to build this whole thing and then like sell it.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I love that shit. So it's like,
yeah, it's really good.
I'm a big fan.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh man. What? Any other thoughts, Zach?
I
feel like we're missing something big here.
I definitely have more thoughts. Another thing that I'll say just about the movie generally that I think is missing from some of these other ones, and that I think Ryan Coogler really brings to it, is I feel like he's really good at making like moments. Like there's really strong moments in the movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like other Marvel movies maybe have like moments in the scale of like the whole Marvel universe, but there's not really any like moments that hit as hard as some of the ones that were in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Two, both involving Michael B. Jordan, was I absolutely loved when he shows the bump on his arm and he's like one for every kill. And then he challenges him and he takes off his shirt and he's covered in the bumps.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Totally.
That was so good. It
could have been like one for every kill.
Yeah,
and like revealed that early, but like instead he's like, he's got a few on his arm.
Yeah, it's like, because they're brands, right?
Yeah,
Is that they are?
They're like ritual scarring.
Yeah. And then when he takes off his shirt right before they fight, and number one, he's just like absolutely chiseled. Number two, he's just
huge.
Like he is massive. He will be 9 feet tall in 2020. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And that whole scene was awesome.
Yeah, totally. Loved all the fights on the waterfall. Fucking amazing.
Honestly, I feel like that battle was more compelling than their like final battle, which was on.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely,
Definitely.
Totally. Mm-hmm. Like that was really compelling.
Okay, so sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say one thing that I thought was kind of strange. Daniel Kaluuya's character,
Yeah,
flips so fast. What's his name? Wakabi, right? Mm-hmm. He starts off and they're like boys, right? He's going to visit him. He's checking out his pet rhinos, and like he's talking to him. He's like, "We got you. If you want us to roll in the whole world, we're gonna go out there and clean up the place. We got you, King." And then he like comes back without Andy Serkis's character. And then, dude,
what
it's
the
just
fuck,
like,
dude?
fuck you, man. Nah, bro. Over with, you know.
you know what? I'm over it.
Yeah. Right. So he flipped so fast for me, and he was so hardcore. It's like he's gonna lead his army against his own people.
Totally.
Like that was ridiculous.
It's a little bit of a stretch.
Also, Sterling K. Brown, the fact that he was in that first scene, I was like, what? I didn't know he was in this movie.
Yeah.
Totally. And who's the other kid in that scene? He looked really familiar.
Yeah, he's been in a bunch of things. He was in that Forrest Whitaker movie, where they were on the bus.
He looks when he was a kid. He had some roles as a kid. Yeah,
he's very, very familiar looking.
Yeah,
we'll have to look him up.
Anyway, what were you saying, Wes?
I think honestly, I was feeling strange about the whole pacing of the first act for me too. Like it felt like the pacing was a little weird until it really found its groove. I think once they got into Wakanda, but I guess another gripe is that, and also when that first scene in Africa where he's stopping those jeeps. It was really dark. Was that dark for you guys?
Yeah, I think that was supposed to be that way. When I first saw it,
I couldn't see what's going on.
I think that's what they were trying to do. Like, he's a Black Panther. He's at night. This is he's like a Batman type, you know, where he's shrouded by darkness. But at the same time, it didn't seem deliberate. You know what I mean? It just seemed like it was super dark. You know?
Yeah.
But jungles get fucking dark, so I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But the sister character. It was probably my favorite.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
She was really good.
She was amazing. And also the one, Okoye, played by, she was like the warrior woman.
Yeah, she was awesome. Yeah.
She was badass.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. She's always badass. She's Michonne in Walking Dead, you know? And she has the swords.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was awesome. Like, it was good to see some,
Yeah, she was so good.
Yeah.
And I don't really know even how this movie does it, but they build their characters in a really simple way that I don't even know. It's I don't know why I am more attached to the characters in this movie than the other ones, the other Marvel movies. But maybe it's just because the other ones, it's just like Jon Favreau or something. You know, just being like, whoa, I'm making a joke. You know, what are you going to do?
Everybody seems like family in this movie.
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah, for sure.
Even Killmonger, who is, I guess, technically family. But, the whole time I'm just he's a member of the family who is wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
totally. They really built Wakanda as, this family. And I think that was what was awesome to me about it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think this does a better job at that than the other ones. It's I get more of a sense of the character than just serving a plot purpose, which I feel like a lot of other side characters in Marvel movies, end up being. Yeah, or an obligation to fulfill a character from the comic or something. But you really
feel for all the characters, for every single one of them. And which honestly, I love the fact because you feel for all these characters, and then the I guess the civil war that's happening between them, the battle at the end. They're not just in any other Marvel movie are anonymous bodies that are thrown at each other, anonymous aliens or something like that. These are all you knew all the characters from both sides. You're like, oh, this is this sucks, because they're fighting against each other, but you they weren't, like I said, anonymous bodies. You knew all the sides, you felt the different tribes, you understood them, so it not only built these main characters, but it built these different factions, which was really cool.
Totally.
I loved that. I loved the factions that
Yeah.
did that.
Yeah.
That was
That's
awesome.
awesome.
The
Made it feel more realistic too.
Totally.
Jabari. The Jabari were so awesome. Like their
Yeah.
architecture in the mountains.
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah,
so cool.
so cool.
Yeah, like,
Totally.
Yeah.
they're super technologically advanced, like barbarians. Like it doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense, but they totally stick it. Like it makes perfect sense when you see them and they're
Yeah.
living out there. Like they don't have fucking walls because they're like, we're cold. We don't give a fuck. You know, like we'll wear these furs and we'll be cold. You know, like
Yeah.
we just learn to be used to the cold. You know, but like it's cool. You know, it's cool just to see.
Yeah.
It's cool, like they weren't living in caves or anything, you know. Like they're super
Yeah.
technologically advanced too, but like
Totally.
they have their own way of doing it apart from everybody else.
Yeah, for sure. And I love the design of like those sticks that are like on the ropes and stuff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Just looks cool.
Yeah, it's great.
No idea what their purpose.
And that's
is.
another thing
Yeah.
that I feel like this movie has a leg up on the other ones. This is like it's really able to like go for that design. You know, it's like you can't really fault the other ones for not doing that because it's like how do you make Tony Stark's like penthouse apartment in New York like look that interesting?
Yeah.
It's like doesn't make
Right.
sense. But I feel like that's just where like this type of these movies just is more interesting because it's you know there's more opportunities to do things like that.
It's literally a made up place, so they can
Yeah,
do whatever
just
they
do
want.
whatever you want
know?
with it, which is like that's why it's fun a lot of the time.
Yeah.
but
You know
also
what I mean?
grounded in reality with all the
Yeah.
references to like real world
Exactly.
cultures.
Totally.
So like the tie in there, like in Guardians of the Galaxy, you can do that as well. But like, it's so out there, like.
that it's just like
Yeah,
a
there's
weird
no relation
space
to it. Right.
planet.
And there's
Yeah.
also like the connotation that comes with like tribes people in Africa where they're like
Yeah.
savages and like it's cool to see like
Yeah.
it's cool to see them not like leaning into that at all. You know, like
Totally.
they have
They-
these customs, but they're also like
They made the
super-
joke, the vegetarian joke,
Right.
to like counteract that, which
Exactly.
is
Yeah,
like
that was amazing.
a good way of like establishing that with
Mm-hmm.
with just like getting it out there, but not
Right.
being like this is a point that we're making. It's
Right.
almost like an effortless way to kind
Yeah.
of like
It's
incorporate.
It's turned into
that.
a joke.
yeah.
It's used as like a line in a joke, which is great. Yeah, and I love like how they have that rich cultural like look with the costumes, like ingrained like with the future look. You know, they look so intricate with like the beads and everything. Like the costumes are amazing.
Yeah,
they
I
were
gotta.
really
Yeah,
good.
I want to see who the costume designer was on this, like, and see what they've done, because that, yeah, they really they nailed that pretty hard. And that was great
Yeah.
to see.
Totally.
For sure.
There was
Yeah, I
totally room to
definitely
mess
think-
that up.
Yeah, that's one of the strong suits is the design and the world building for
Yeah,
sure.
it's great.
just amazing. So let's talk about more about Killmonger. Would you guys? I know we mentioned briefly like we kind of like him, but let's talk about him. What'd you like about him? What'd you like about his reveal, and how'd you sympathize with him? You know?
Yeah. Well, I think it goes back to what we're talking about like just building a good villain by making you identify with him. You know what I mean? It's like he's a
Yeah.
very empathetic character, and you know why he is thinking these things. And they bring
Yeah.
it back when he becomes the Black Panther and he like drinks the stuff, and there's the scene of him like as a kid, and I don't know. It's just it's like it's very easy to make a villain that's just like a big scary guy, but to humanize him, make you understand his reasoning for doing what he does, but then
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and be like, well, this sucks, you know, but like
Clearly, as an 8 and 9-year-old child being abandoned in the world by these
Yeah.
people who are supposed to be like the penultimate in humanity, like these are the best that humanity's like. All the bad parts of humanity are not included in Wakanda. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just like the fact that the king and this like I don't know, what was he, like a shaman, Forrest Whitaker's character, Zuri,
Yeah, Zuri.
they left this kid like who's one of them in Oakland by
Yeah.
himself,
yeah, it's insane.
just completely abandoned. I'm like, well, fuck yeah, that kid's gonna have problems.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
like he's so one track minded, and he's like clearly just lived his whole life to do this. Like, yeah, go for it, man. And he's completely
Yeah.
within his rights too, which makes it more awesome.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's like this
Yes.
kid, he's
You
royal
feel for
blood.
him.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna exercise my right, you know. to challenge you for the throne, and then he beats him. It's like
it's amazing.
I mean, he seemingly beats him.
Yeah. Also, I think they just fucking kill it on that last line that he has. Oh, yeah. As much as I would love Michael B. Jordan to be in all of these movies because he was amazing, it's just like it goes back to the thing I was talking about him just being really good at Ryan Coogler being good at like executing moments that are memorable.
For sure.
Just
like what a way to like in that character's role in the movie.
I mean, if you think about like the kind of respect and just deference and worship of their ancestors that they had, like Wakanda as a people, and then to like completely abandon all these other people in the world, like anybody had that type of worship and deference to their ancestors, to think about like my ancestors lived and died on slave ships and fucking in bondage, like that person's gonna come at you exactly like that. You know what I mean? Totally. Like you fucked everybody. Like you just completely abandoned everybody else. Why wouldn't I why wouldn't I like? Yeah. These are my ancestors. I don't know who you are in Wakanda, but I know these ancestors, and they're the ones who like needed you and you weren't there. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So just like selling the whole concept in one package as Killmonger is the coolest thing.
It's really good.
And they nailed it. I loved it.
Really good writing.
It's kind of like, in a way, kind of brings back like that classic kind of Shakespearean feeling to it too, having a family feud like that, but also having like tying it in with almost like older 90s like superhero movies. Like you see the origin of the hero and the villain, and they both kind of rise up, but it does it in its own unique way. It's something that I guess on paper we've seen before, but it does it in like a way we haven't seen recently, and in its own way. Like, and I love how he has his own arc.
Definitely,
he has his own arc because of that. You see where he comes from, you understand his journey, and then he has an end. And
he's here to accomplish his mission. Like he's been planning this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And you can tell that comes across that like this guy's been waiting for this moment. Yeah, you know what I mean.
He speaks the language. He's not just like some guy who heard about Wakanda and wandered in. Like I might have some rights here. No, he's so prepared, so ahead of the game, so like 2 steps ahead of the most advanced civilization in the world.
And he completely turns it on its head, like literally overnight. Like
he takes over.
He completely takes over, and he just becomes king. He walks in, never seen the country before, and literally becomes the king.
Crazy.
What a badass!
The coolest villain.
And also,
nobody feels. Everybody just feels powerless to him. Like once he does it,
they're like, we don't know what to do. This is our tradition. It's like, it's crazy.
I also thought he was really funny.
Yeah.
Like when what does he say when he steals the bag? He's like, I'm feeling this.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just feeling this. He's like, I'm not dead yet. All that challenge shit over with.
Yeah, it's over with.
All that challenge shit over with.
Amazing.
I do not care about your traditions. I'm already in power. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was good.
It's really good.
He's looking at the mask and he's like, "Oh, is that what's the material
Vibranium?
called?
Vibranium?
Yeah, is that for Vibranium too?" He's like, "Nah, I'm just feeling this."
He just like takes this part of his costume. It's great.
It's amazing. Also, he's just looking cool, man.
He's just looking really fucking cool. He's got those awesome double caps on his teeth that blend really well into his final like costume.
Yeah, totally.
As the golden Jaguar.
Which also, I did not know that he was gonna have that.
What
the Jaguar costume?
Oh no, he's the Golden Jaguar. That's like his name in the comics. He's like a completely different character.
This is pretty cool.
It's so good.
Like, and also just the whole thing about like earlier they show the necklace and he's like, "No, too flashy," and he's like, "I'll take this one, the practical one." And then it cuts to him and he's of course wearing it, and then it comes on. He's like a gold version. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I feel like
got the other one. Yeah,
Marvel does this and like they choose like the opposite. The villain that's the most opposite the character, or like the dark version of the character, like when Iron Man, the first one, and like was it Red Skull, kind of opposite Captain America. It's a thing that they've done before, but I like the way it happened here because they're cousins, and like it makes perfect sense.
But also, it's kind of interesting to see, like, it's also a way for you to see, like, oh, what would Wakanda be like with, like, an evil Black Panther?
Exactly. Yeah.
it's like, oh shit, what would that be like? What if they use their technology against people?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get to see that, which is really cool.
Totally.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's interesting watching the conversations that it's sparking. Like, I'm seeing a lot of people like anti-hero, not necessarily villain. Like, he's still a villain to me, you know, like his methods are off.
Yeah.
He talks a big game, but his methods are completely off considering what he's saying. But like people, he's not Deadpool, you know what I mean? He's not like
totally.
he's not coming to save the day. Ever.
Right.
He shot his girlfriend to get back to Wakanda, you know what I mean? Like,
he's there for revenge, you know.
Yeah.
He's there for revenge and to take back what his birthright, you know.
So
And
sick, so sick.
Another thing I wanted to get to too, it reminds me of, is like it's so cool. Like, you're set up with this amazing Wakanda, like this. You see this culture, it's just thriving. You know, it's doing everything, literally without like the touch of colonialism. Like, we get to see what would that be like, but you find out it's not perfect.
Oh yeah,
they have a big flaw, which is what the father does, and like what they continue to do. You know, that there's this big flaw, like that's been part of their history, and I love that because that feels real.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
And even in this perfect quote unquote like oasis, you know, there's still things that they can improve on.
Right.
You know, and I love that.
I love that too.
Chadwick Boseman's character T'Challa, he's like, no, this is wrong, and he's the better Black Panther by denying that and changing things for the better. You know?
Yeah,
totally.
Because there is something like really admirable about how hard they adhere to their traditional customs. Like the battle on the waterfront or the waterfall, the fights there wouldn't have happened without that traditional culture. You know, like that adherence, without that adherence to tradition. But at the same time, like, whose side do you take when Lupita Nyong'o's character Nakia and what's her name? Shuri? Okoye. When they're having that argument, right after
Okoye.
right after Killmonger takes power, and they have that argument about like we have to do something about this, and she's like, no, I'm loyal to the throne.
Yeah, it's
she's
like, what are you talking about? Like, this is like, this is me. Like,
you love your country,
this is
serve
what
your country. And then she's like, I'm going to save my country. Like, whose side do you take? You know, like, the traditions matter, but how far do they matter? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because also, Killmonger can just walk in there and turn your entire culture into like an imperial culture that goes out and tries to take over the world. You know?
Yeah, at that point, do you deny the traditions?
Yeah.
You know, and the good guys kind of realize, you gotta. Sometimes it's not just black and white like that. You know, sometimes there's more to it, and you know, we gotta overthrow this king because he's not a good one. You know.
Totally.
Yeah, it brings up some really good concepts, but in like a really smooth way. And it has a really good flow. Like it's a great story. It really is.
Totally.
Yeah, and the
it
fact
brings up these universal themes. Yeah, go ahead.
The fact that M'Baku brings up when T'Challa asks him to give his armies to the cause, he's like, "Who the fuck are we? What is this we shit you're talking about? Like none of you have ever been here." For hundreds of years, we've never had a king even visit the Jabari tribe. You know, we've been in the mountains on our own, doing our own thing. We're not going to help you.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I can't speak for all those other guys, but I know, you know, the type of king that I can be.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that, like,
exactly.
Like, there are ways you can improve. Like, that's a way that they were lacking. Like, they should have every new king go visit the Jabari tribe and make sure that, you know that they're part of this Wakandan, over body. You know, like, you have power, and we want to hear how you can contribute, or how you want to contribute, or how we can contribute to you. You know what I mean? Like, those are things that make a good society. You know. Yeah. So like they were lacking there. They got really complacent. You know, and like it was just awesome to see addressing little things like that. Still.
Yeah, I love that too. That's awesome.
M'Baku, one of my favorite characters in the movie too.
Yeah, he was really good.
Probably second favorite.
He was great.
To Killmonger.
Oh, Killmonger's your favorite?
Killmonger's definitely my favorite.
I just love Michael B, man.
Michael B's
just the most charismatic man. It's insane.
Like his line deliveries, like, on some of those lines, just like whew, shit.
Yeah.
I felt that. You know, like...
Totally.
I definitely think he, in a way, outperformed Chadwick Boseman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just because he's more of a veteran actor, I think, too, for one, and secondly, Chadwick Boseman's character is more of just like a stoic kind of, like, he's the hero, and Michael B. Jordan's character is like, he's got so much anger behind him. He's a little more interesting.
Totally.
You know.
He's totally bad boy cool. You know,
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
like,
he's totally bad boy cool.
Because T'Challa is like almost like too good of a guy. He's just like the perfect person.
He's a prince. He's the prince.
So I
know?
feel like they needed like what you were talking about with like the flaw in Wakanda and everything. They like needed that to not make it just like the most perfect thing ever. It's just like this very attractive, very honest, and like always caring leader who's also a superhero. You know, like he's just like the perfect person. So so it's like, well, clearly I'm gonna like that guy. You know.
Yeah.
Family man. You know, just like
Family man.
it's great, loved by everyone.
Yeah, rightfully so. You know.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it again.
Oh,
yeah,
to be honest,
it was really good.
So good. I can't either.
Yeah. So I think that'll pretty much wrap it up. Unless you guys have any last thoughts. Any last final things that you didn't get to get out?
You guys got a Panther Fang rating? How many Panther Fangs? This movie?
Yeah, we'll do that then.
Yeah, how many
What's
Panthers?
usually stars, but we'll do Panther Fangs.
Wait, so it's Panther Fangs. If it's 5 stars, is that
it's 5 Panther
5
Fangs.
sets? Like, is that
5 singular Panther Fangs?
Or is it 2 sets and then 1 spare in case you lose?
Right.
I guess it doesn't matter.
What do you give it, Zach?
I'm gonna 4.5 Panther Fangs out of 5.
Nice. I'm gonna give it 4.
4?
I'm at 4 Panther Fangs.
Tony?
4 to 5.
I want to give it 5. I'm gonna give it 4.8 Panther Fangs.
Dude, if you wanna go 5, go 5, bud.
It's not
Go
a perfect
5,
film.
man.
I can't give it. I give 5s to perfect films. It's not perfect. I love everything about it though.
Hell yeah.
Fair enough. That's awesome.
Just
All
a,
right,
a
yeah,
chipped
so that-
a chipped Panther Fang.
Yeah,
That
just the last one.
It's
The
a bit
fifth
chipped,
Panther
you know?
Fang.
Just the very tip is off. That's
Yeah.
Totally.
All right, that's going to conclude it for our episode tonight. As always, you can find other episodes of this podcast on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, or YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. If you enjoy the show, please consider leaving us a review on iTunes. You can email us at listentousrantaboutmovies@gmail.com. Thank you to our thank you to our Patreon producer Sean Pierce and our Patreon supporters. You too can be a producer and or supporter of this podcast by visiting our Patreon page and becoming a monthly patron for as little as $1. Visit www.patreon.com/LTURAM podcast. And that's going to do it.
Yeah.
Good talk, guys.
Where can everyone find your podcast, TJ?
Yeah,
Plug it again.
Filmcore.com. Look for the Filmcore TV Corner podcast. We review mostly shows, TV shows, big ones like Game of Thrones. We do a lot of HBO
Stranger
shows.
Things you did, right?
Stranger Things we did, yeah. So yeah, come check us out if you want to hear some folks talk about TV shows. Filmcore
yeah,
TV
man.
Hell
Corner.
yeah. Check it out. TJ, thanks a lot for coming on, man.
Yeah,
It's
thanks
great
for coming
having
on,
you
dude.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks a lot for inviting
Good talk,
me.
and
Totally.
yeah, till next time.
Till next time.